World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Hey, what's happening? What's up? Urbanology.
Okay, hello. I'm trying to. This is Tony Rogers, your host for Urbanology, the Art of War. What you were hearing, I'm trying to do something that I've never done before, to develop a conversation between individuals here in New York and individuals in Senegal. We are in the process, we being the Harlem Tourism Board, are in the process of taking a delegation to Senegal to begin to talk about developing a Dakar Harlem partnership relationship. And the thought pattern for today's show is to have a dialogue between my good friend we call her the Queen, Dr. Yana Woodhouse, who, among many of the things that she does as a financial planner, she has a focus on financial literacy. And I'm looking to connect her with Sonny Moore in Senegal, who is in the process of developing a financial literacy program in Senegal, which we will visit when we leave on Thursday. And there's my queen, Dr. Yana Woodhouse. I'm also looking at, and that's Sonny Moore.
Hi, hello.
Your timing from Senegal. Yay! We were able to put this together. And Sonny Moore, this is Dr. Yana Woodhouse. My other thought is I have the tech guru for Harlem and New York City and probably the world, Clayton Banks, who just opened a fantastic, he reopened or redesigned his tech center in Africa Harlem. And my attempt is to connect him with the Innovation House in Senegal. And that's a major technology component there. And Mahanta Fall is the person who runs that. The founder of it is Musa Toure, who asked, could Mahanta do this? Musa Toure, besides this, he's the chief digital officer for Orange, which is I understand, a major technology location in Senegal. So, he's a little busy, but nevertheless, what I did do, I made an introduction to Clayton and Musa. So the connection has already started, and Clayton that you just saw again has been a person that has done wonderful work as far as information technology. However, the first segment is to connect these two beautiful sisters together who are doing great work. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, as I had mentioned before, uh, she was the first Black woman to trade on the floor of the stock exchange, which I will always brag about that. And she is in the top 1% of the major financial planners in the country. And she'll be traveling. And she has a book, which maybe you can bring a couple of copies of those books to share with Sunny. And Sunny has been, she's an angel, and she has been my person on the ground and has helped me and connected me to people and sent me a picture with her next to a lion. I think I showed you that. I said, "Oh boy,
Yes.
sister, got a lot of nerve." I know Matt wanted to do that. That wasn't my,
Yes.
that wasn't my bucket list thing to do when I get. I'd rather go to the beach or something when you guys do that. But nevertheless, Sunny,
Yes.
since you're, our guest, tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing with financial literacy.
Okay, I'm Sunny Moore. I moved to Senegal, West Africa, about 3 years ago. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and the purpose of my move to West Africa is to develop generational wealth for the Black community here and abroad, the diaspora and Africans. So the last 3 years, I've developed my business. I do import, export, and I've cultivated some investments as far as land purchases and property purchases. So I am in the midst of working with a group of financial literacy women, creating some kind of a group so we can teach generational wealth to our young women so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel and struggle financially. So that is what my goal is here in Senegal, West Africa.
And Dr. Woodhouse, I can see you smiling because that's that's basically what she has preached for many, many years. So the connection is wonderful. But let people know, since different people are looking, who you are, Dr. Woodhouse.
Well, I'm Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse. I've been in the financial service industry for 44 years. I was the first African American woman to trade retail on the floor and to assist people in building their financial wealth. Again, I started in in a platform of just bringing the element of investing to people, but now it's truly financial literacy, because if you don't know
Yes,
any better, you won't do any better.
that's
And
right.
so my focus is to bring the knowledge. And yes, I do have this book that we have distributed in the urban community, and I will be bringing it, Sonny, to you, is How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. You
I
know,
love it. I love it. Thank you. We need that.
and it is to tell the story of the simplicity of building generational wealth. My mission is to lessen and close that racial wealth divide. And I
Yes.
know we can do that. And I'm looking forward to it. This is hands across the water. I am excited that
It's
we can
perfect
do
timing. Perfect timing.
it. It
And
is.
all things happen for a reason. And Clayton Banks, who is with us, is a person. I started with his partner many moons ago, uh, but I still don't know how to do most of the things that my kids know how to do. Things have changed so much. But Mr. Banks, has been in the forefront of this for so many years and has been could be any place in the world that he wants to be based on his knowledge and the things that he's done and the money that he's made doing all of this stuff.
Oh,
But chose to be in Harlem, chose to work with
wow.
young people. He's the head tech person for the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce, and he has Silicon Harlem
Wow.
is spreading out so vastly than California. And you're from California, Sonny. But
Yes.
we will surpass at some point based on our creativity. You know, Silicon Valley. Is it Village or Valley? I believe.
Yes.
So Clayton,
Mhm.
just tell the listeners a little bit about. I mean, we don't have that much time because there's so much about you, but just give us a understanding about Silicon Harlem and what you're looking to do.
Well, thank you very much, Tony Rogers, and certainly to all of the people on this call.
Yes.
And You're doing great work for so many people. Anytime we have someone, and in this situation, we got two smart people about money. So I'm very excited to hear a little bit more about that and how this becomes sort of international effort, right? So a lot of the sister cities and things of that nature that deal with financial literacy, and I would advocate being sort of a tech guy that the literacy will have to include a lot of our digital currency now and assets and things of that nature. So I'm very excited to be on the same call with people that have so much expertise. My quote that will hopefully be on my tombstone will be, everyone needs a connection. At the end of the day, everyone needs a connection, right? So at the base of that is broadband of internet. If you don't have it, you're not a person. Hello. If
It's
you are
true.
not online,
It's
you
true.
can't be a person, because everyone's moving everything to the internet, whether it's banking, whether it's civic services, things that you may need to touch every day goes online. If you don't have that
Shit.
access, you're not a person in this world. So that's where I'm from. I'm from the perspective of how do we ensure that everyone has a connection. It's not being that you don't have it because of money or something like that. It's just like water and electricity, and even the U.S. mail in the United States, where at one point not everybody got their mail, but we stepped in and said that is stupid. So let's get everybody mail. So the
Yeah.
same thing could be with broadband, and I'm
Yeah.
just happy to be on this particular call, and we can get the conversation going, Mr. Rogers.
Well, again, one of the things, and hopefully we'll get someone from Innovation House, but obviously I've already connected you to the person that you might need to speak, Musa Torre. And the thought pattern is that many of the things that we're talking about can be obviously dealt with like we're doing now. We've reached the point where we can talk to each other now.
Wow.
And this is very historic for me because what we're doing now is talking to people in Africa, and the people in Africa who look like us are talking to us, and we
That's right.
will be able to start doing things. What I'm excited about as it relates to both the financial literacy, especially for women. I think that's important, and that's a
Yes.
big step in Africa and in America, I guess.
Yes.
but as to how the young people dealing with technology can connect with each other, because I'm sure that they will come up with things that far. We were just talking about the driving cars, the electronic cars, and all of that stuff. I'm sure that the connection that you will make, Clayton, with Musa Flore, uh, will have so many far-reaching relationships as relates to uh, sharing across the water, bringing the water closer, bringing our
That's right.
relationship
Right.
closer
Yes.
to what's
Hmm.
happening. But I want to kind of leave this open. One of the things that I will say before I do that is that we are coming to leaving on Thursday night to get
Yes.
into Senegal on Friday. We have 9 people, including myself, as 10. Craig Harris, dealing with the jazz components, the legendary jazz musician Craig Harris, uh, Dr. Woodhouse will be with us. Matt McCoy and Jasmine Pfeiffer, Soul City, will be with us. William Adams, who is a photographer and also a real estate person, who I'm sure will have some good conversations with you, Sonny.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Catherine Warren, Kat, who will do document most of this stuff as we go to this new level of relationships, and Jerome Downey from the art community. So it's going to be an interesting opportunity to bring people and
Yes.
try to make these connections. But I'm so excited that you guys are here, and
Yes.
and would be interested in just to hear
I'm
Clayton.
not. I'm not sure we're here. So far, right now, it's just a Tony Rogers talking.
Well, that's why
Oh.
I'm. That's why I'm. I, that,
Well,
that's
I
he's
gotta
that's
call
good.
why
him
He's
I'm
out.
good.
I
stopping.
gotta call him out, right? Because I want to hear from Dr. Yana and Sonny Moore. Come on, Tony. I want to hear more from them ladies.
Yes. Go ahead, doctor. Please.
Okay. Well, I do want to say that it is important. And of course, we're in International Women's History Month. I think this is
Wow.
awesome. And the necessity of financial literacy, I was just checking my stats, and the United States is number 14 worldwide when it comes to financial literacy. They don't even list our brothers and sisters in Africa, they don't even list it.
Hmm.
So it's one of those things that I'm very excited about, is to sit with my sister Sunny and let's come up with the way that we can worldwide bridge this gap, get our children knowledgeable. But once we get the children knowledgeable, we also have to get the adults, because the adults don't know any better, so they can't guide our children. So we've got to make this into a synergy situation. And yes, Clayton, I do agree. We do have to look at it from the different aspects of coins and trading that's taking place. Some things are more prevalent in our sister country in Africa than in the United States. And it's just knowledge. Knowledge is power. And of course, action is queen.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's awesome. I
Sonny?
would like to thank just this opportunity to meet and speak with you on this podcast, this TV show. I love it. The reason why I just decided to start working with women, especially young ladies, with financial literacy, because there's a level of freedom that I have that I realize that these young ladies don't have. And when you don't have financial literacy, you're struggling and you're struggling and you're making mistakes. Your whole youth, your 20s, your 30s, you're struggling to make ends meet. You're marrying people, you're involved with people because you don't have a place to stay. And I think in order for us to have freedom, ultimate freedom is to have financial literacy. And I like what you're doing, Clayton, because you're creating opportunities for low income or urban areas to have tech access to technology. We need that. There's so many people who don't have internet at home, and with that, on top of the fact that we're not educated in financial literacy, we're not free. So this is why I'm very excited to work with Dr. Woodhouse. I would like to create travel groups for women who would like to have a financial literacy workshop, because it's great to have a woman's vacation, ladies' night out, and all that, but they go back home and they're broke, they're struggling financially, and I just, it breaks my heart to see our young people not having the opportunity to travel, not having the opportunities to invest and do business because they don't have the financial literacy. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, and I look forward to building bridges, building an empire, a new nation, the Black nation. All we are pioneers. Africa is the new frontier.
Tell us a little bit about Senegal, Sonny.
Senegal is really a very exciting place. The political climate is very stable. People are really smart here. As far as opportunities, I mean, Senegal is investing in the future. They have new stadiums, they're building new highways. Just really, it's a very exciting time to be here in Senegal. I mean, there's other things going on in other places and other parts of Africa, but Senegal itself is beautiful. It's surrounded by water. The food is great. The culture is great. People are very friendly. They have a thing called Teranga where they welcome travelers and strangers. I really think that you guys are going to really enjoy Senegal. If you have an open mind, an open heart, and you don't bring your American, ideas of how things should be, you will see Senegal for the beauty it has to offer. It's a beautiful place.
And Clayton.
And also, by the way, I live beachfront, so I can look out of my window. I can sit on the rooftop. The ocean's there, the beach is there. I mean, it's just beautiful.
And a lot of people don't know that there are beaches in Senegal. I actually had
Oh,
a sister said that I would go, but I like to go travel where I can go to the beach. So there
I'm
are
telling you,
beaches.
and they also surfing is big here too. I mean, there are surf clubs everywhere. Yeah.
Which is, Richard Cox is the one that told me, he's doing a project, so he's not coming. But he said, Tony, do you know they have world-class surfers in Senegal? I said, no, I didn't know
Yes.
that, which is
Yes.
interesting. So we're going to really take over California's surfing thing and their digital stuff.
We're ready. And actually, there's a Black-owned surf club directly across the street from where I live. So
Wow.
there's a lot of networking and family that are already here doing things. So I'm excited about you guys coming.
And you have a basketball team now too.
And basketball is here. I mean, Senegal just won the football cup
Yeah.
for soccer. You guys call it soccer. Big things are happening here in Senegal. I'm just, I hate to tell you guys a secret, but Senegal is the place to be.
Well, again, Clayton, what are some of the things that you might be able to focus on having this connection between the Innovation House in Senegal and Senegal Harlem?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I grew up surfing, so I hope you have
Oh,
a space for me at the crib, Sonny Moore.
I
I
do.
want to
I
come.
do anytime.
I'm gonna come
Anytime,
hang
please.
out in your crib because that's exactly how I grew up. My high school, my graduation was on the beach. All right, I could walk to the beach from my high school. Whenever we cut school, they all knew where we were. So it was.
Yes.
I love this idea. I'm going. I'm coming. I'm serious.
Okay.
well,
Okay.
we're planning a trip for June 9th to the 16th.
Well, you count me in, brother.
Okay.
So
That's around the jazz. That's around the jazz festival. That's one of the
Yes.
reasons Craig Harris is coming with us this trip to do that. I just saw my good friend Kat who was saying she was. Are we coming to your home, Sonny, so we can sit by the water?
Yes. Yes. You're more than welcome. I have a great place, and like I said, it's right in front of the beach. And please, please,
And,
by all means. And I have a lot of surprises for you when you arrive.
no, that sounds awesome. To your question,
Yes.
Tony Rogers, and again, thanks for pulling us all together. I know we only have so much time, but I think the reality is, and we created an innovation space here in Harlem, which has been very inspirational and to some degree aspirational for so many people. But it's only going to be as good as it's supported. A lot of times you can put something up, it looks really cool for a few minutes, and then it just sort of dies by the vine. So one of our things is to ensure that we're always looking at advanced technology. Um,
Yes.
and I think that there's a lot to be shared between our continents and countries. And I
Yes.
think that, when I met in the chat, I put in the chat how M-Pesa has been such a game changer for Africa, and I think it could be used in so many other
Yes.
places. And the impact it's had on women being able to sell things and buy things through M-Pesa, and what it's done for small businesses and all that kind of stuff is been driven in some ways through technology. Using cell phones and that kind of thing is really the future of new innovations. The COVID, if it didn't do anything, it definitely allow for many of us to open up our eyes and our minds as to what kind of new innovations can we bring to the fore. Everything from transportation to clean energy to all types of things. And again, the denominator of all of that is making sure everybody's connected. We're
Yes.
losing a lot of brain power when people are not on. That's something wrong with all of us. So
Yes.
I think when you look at some of the advanced technologies coming along, that we all should be taking, some real consideration is, of course, what you hearing smart city, what we call tech-enabled cities, which is an opportunity to make life a little bit more efficient, right? So when we talk about, for example, a single mom, there's a lot of challenges within the infrastructure that doesn't make it optimized for them. For example, taking a kid to school and trying to get to the job at the same time. Has the infrastructure really helped that person? And I think these are the kind of new ways that we can start to look at life. How do we make it more efficient? It's nothing new, but it becomes a more of a next normal. And so technology is like I said, it's the denominator of a lot of it. We're in a digital transformation in general. It's not to say that it's anything like so new and everybody's all, I don't know about that, Clayton, and all. No, you do. Everybody knows about it. It's just, hell, we used to walk at one point, ride a horse the other time. The next thing we're in a cab, and the next thing we're in a car. What's going to happen next? So it's the same thing. What going from point A to point B? So
Yes.
life is pretty simple. We make it much more complicated as human beings, but it's really quite simple.
Mhm.
And so when you look at what I think is the most essential thing you can have right now is a connection, both physically and virtually, is so important. We're looking at health issues from, mental illness to all types of things. A lot of it is because people are just not connected to anything. And so I think to the extent that we work very hard to do the basics, all the essential, the things that come on top of that basic, like an innovation center where somebody can invent something that's never been done before, or a relationship between two countries or two continents to where we can actually create some sort of international product or service. All that's like in our hands right now.
Mm.
When I was in Africa, I'll end with this. When I was in Africa, which was really a transformation for me, is I was looking around and talking to a lot of people, and one of the things I realized is, in a lot of at that time anyway, countries and the continent was sort of, down the pole of credit, for example. Whereas in American, as U.S., we have like number one credit in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We have no resources. How did that happen? Right? We have no resources. All the resources are in Africa.
In Africa.
Yes.
Possibly be down the. I mean, that is really one of the challenges we have in the future. But the good news is technology can help this. How do we get the word out? Right. So we got to get the word out in a lot, in a lot of ways, and maybe some of it pointing a lot bit more on younger people. But definitely, there's what I think we're all saying is that there's so much opportunity. And it's the same thing in our urban cities and things of that nature. There's so much that we're leaving behind right now. And I think it's one of the greatest moments in time right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is only 100 years this happens where the entire world needs an upgrade. All right. So the entire world needs an upgrade because the pandemic definitely showed we ain't done nothing in a long time. Everybody's sick. What happened here? Well, now we have that moment. If you're into politics, you're going to be one of the greatest of all time. If you're running a company, you're going to be the greatest of all time. A nonprofit, the greatest of all time. If you take full advantage of this incredible moment where you have the tools, you have to have the literacy.
Yes.
So we can actually come together and make a difference that will, hopefully someone in my lineage will look up and look at a bridge or a tunnel or some sort of advanced technology and go, my grandfather or my uncle or my thing like that, he would. A lot of white folks can say that in New York. Oh yeah, my father helped build the great, the George Washington Bridge or Corona Bridge in San Diego. People can say that. We can't say none of that. We're like, shit, we were feeding them or something. I mean, come on, we can do this better, and we must do it better. You with me, Dr. Yana? We got to do this now. Ready? Let's
do
it.
Time to do it. It doesn't make sense for me sitting back and talking about it. We got to do it. And the thing is though, we have to open ourselves. You mentioned everything that you mentioned really links back to literacy. You cannot open up a business if you don't understand your structure.
Exactly.
You cannot and understand the taxes. You can't deal internationally if you don't know how. We all have the desire. We have the passion to, I want to be in business. Like I tell folks, if I had $1 for every LLC that was established in New York, in the United States, I wouldn't be here because I'd be a billionaire. I'd be doing something at home in Africa. So, but that's not it. It's the fact that we don't know. And my passion is to bring that, because if we're going to deal with our people, we got to deal with them right. We can't come half-stepping. And we got to respect each other. And to do so, we have to make sure that we put our stuff in order. And when we come to our brothers and sisters, we say, here, this is what I'm bringing to the table.
Yes.
Let me just say one fact. Let me say one fact. I'm going to say one fact. Now I'm going to shut up. So what you're saying is so good, because here's the deal. At least in the United States, I don't know about everywhere in the world, but just a statistic in the United States. This is what nobody wants to talk about, which is the wealth gap. All right, no one wants to talk about that. There's something wrong with people.
I'm talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, 50 years ago, if you look at it in the 1950s, the wealth gap was extraordinarily large. In this era, it's the same. Nothing has changed. And so, why don't these people have this? Or why are these people complaining? It's not just simply whether you have the internet or not. It's really whether you have the ability to sustain yourself. Exactly. And some of the gap is systemic. It isn't just our fault. That's what everybody wants to say. It's your fault. You're not smart enough. You're not literate enough. You're not this and that. And a lot of white folks hang on that. And the reality is that's not the case. They're smart as hell. In my city of New York now, kids riding around on bikes that they built. All right. So just because you don't like the sound of their bikes and they're popping wheels and going crazy, you don't realize that they're actual mechanical engineers without the degree, because you haven't given them a chance. And so wealth gap, if there's one thing you get away from me, and I'm all about technology, but wealth gap is the core of solving a lot of issues in this country.
And the one thing I want to say to Black people, there needs to be an international unity amongst all quote unquote Black people on this planet. We need to come together and work and galvanize all of our intellect, our resources, our assets, our natural resources, so that we can build our own empire. This is what's needed, and you don't have to move to Africa to invest,
Right.
to work, to connect, to bridge the gap between ourselves and Africans. You know, it's this big elephant in the room. People think, "Oh, I have to move." You don't have to move to Africa to connect to Africa. So we need to get away from like the fantasy of everybody moving to Africa. We really want to keep our footprint over the entire planet. We have people all over this planet. So if we can reinforce our knowledge, well, you know, everything that we have to offer the world, we can come together. We're better off doing that, building a nation within nations for Black people. So that's where I would like to focus on, making people understand that you can be Black, living in America, living in the Caribbean, living in South Africa, South America, and still work together to build a united front for Black people. So I'm ready. I think that this is the opportunity for us. If we don't take this moment in time to build for ourselves, the youth, our future generations are going to suffer, because like Mr. Banks said, things are happening right now that are going to change the lives of our people. And if we don't get together and work to make something magical happen really fast, it's going to be over for us as a people. So we need to just stop all of this, you know, pageantry, and just get to rolling up our sleeves and working every day with each other, get past personal things, and just get together and work for the betterment of Black people worldwide.
Oh,
You
sis,
know,
I definitely agree with you. I
Yes.
just have to say this one thing. I give back to you, Tony. Is
Yes.
that the key is that we do need to work. We're all over. I know people are saying that, you know, well, there's people over here. As you might have noticed when I said I'm coming home, and we've
Yes.
got to treat it as if each and every single one of us is brothers and sisters. We're not going to like
Yes.
each other all the time. We're not going to agree all the time. We got
Yes.
separations for all sorts, but we've got to stay with that one cause. And yes, the wealth gap is intentional, and it
Yes.
was intentional. But the thing is that we have to use our examples. You know, they say you must know your history, and then
Yes.
therefore, if not, you will dare to repeat it. And the thing is, if we saw Black Wall Street there's
Yes.
over 27 Black Wall Streets that existed during the time of segregation. Well,
Wow.
doggone it, if we have to do it that way, let's do it.
Yes.
Let's pull
Yes.
ourselves together and tell people we're not boycotting other people. We just making sure you don't boycott us.
That's right.
you know, I have a question, and it's kind of like for everybody. We're talking today with people who are in technology and in financial literacy. How does the new cryptocurrency movement affect this? Because it seems that it has both a relationship with information technology and financial literacy. What do you guys think about this?
I'm happy to go first. So
Okay.
it's not to be ignored, and it's not to be illiterate about it. You should learn a lot more about it. Right now, a lot of energy is around mining crypto, for example. You might remember, Tony, we had a mining system here in Silicon Harlem. You can set up a mining device inside your home, literally, and just make money. So, you know, to ignore these new technologies can create additional illiteracy. So, is it the end all and all? Maybe not, but it certainly is a part of the financial system at this point. And what I'm finding with younger people, when I was growing up, I can't recall a single member moment that my father talked about stocks. I never heard him talk about no stocks until I got to like college. And then all these white folks I was around talking about, oh yeah, my father just sold like 100, shares of some shit. I was like, what? And I learned in the school about stocks. Well, now you hear about NFTs and all these different assets, and the kids are getting it. And I'm very proud to see it happen. It may not be the long term thing, who knows? But for whatever it's worth, they're learning on what a stock market looks like. It turns digital in their world, and it's definitely an opportunity for them to make money with it. They can also lose money, like many people have done
Yes.
in the stock market. But this is why Dr. Yana and Sonny are here to make sure they mitigate those type of losses. But at the end of the day, it's inevitable that digital currency will be a part of our lives. We've already seen it in Africa in a profound way. We're going to see it more in the United States and other developed countries. We all think a little bit like we got it all done, and it's not even close. So we have a lot to do, and so I'm a big supporter. It's not where I'm spending a lot of my money, but I'm definitely supporting a lot of people who are in that space. You know, even with the crypto mining and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it also has to do with the infamous word of diversity. You never put all your eggs in one basket. And that's my concern with my young brothers and sisters that are out here. They're looking for that get rich real quick, and that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You do, we have to teach them that there is diversification.
Yeah.
You may have something that's in mutual funds. You might have something that's in NFTs. You may have EFTs, which is part of the market. You can have individual stocks. We teach this, but the thing is that never, ever do you put all your assets in one basket and think that's it. And that's where the literacy comes in. You have to teach them what they are and that this is not only a get rich quick situation. You have to build what I call, when I sit with people, I say, you first have to get your safe money. Put the stuff that's needed to be in place. Do you have your insurance? Do you have your retirement plan? What you got? Now what you got left? Now you can go ahead and deal with the rest of these systems that are out here and see what they are. But make sure you got your back covered.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. And Yana, when we talk about diversity, one of the things that Clayton had mentioned is that we don't really have any resources here. So there's a lot of resources in Africa:
Yes.
gold, silver, oil, all of those types of things. I guess, Sonny, when we talk about investments in those
Yes.
types of raw minerals and all of those types
Commodities.
of commodities,
Mhm.
what's your thought about that in your literacy education?
Okay. Well, there's definitely a lot of opportunity here on the continent. This is, I think, the big um, thing that's missing in the Black community is that they don't understand that Africa is an opportunity. It's not about whether you're African or not African. It's about knowing that Africa is full of resources that we can invest in. And as far as buying land, investing in produce, exporting, they have all kind of like super, quote unquote, superfood that is just everywhere here in Senegal. I mean, everything. You can ship to America, to Asia, to Europe, all over the planet and make a lot of money. You can do a lot of things here. Minerals, medicinal herbs, medicine, even pharmaceuticals. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here. So, as far as I have a few people that I know that are currently investing in those fields, and I would love to connect the whole group with when you guys arrive. But there's so much to do here, and I think that more of us need to just open up to the idea of investing in Africa. And with that being said, having people on the ground who are going to give you proper information on where you're investing and also legitimate investments, not getting involved in, like you said, getting rich quick schemes and, oh, we're going to put our money here and it's just a thing. But people are here from Asia, from Europe, from America, and they're investing here in America, Africa. We're not investing our money on the continent. And it's really tragic because we know, like you said, we don't have any resources in America. So we're buying, homes, and we're buying things, but you can take that money and buy acres and acres and acres of land here on the continent and create generational wealth for your great 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 grandchildren. Instead, you're buying a house in California, you know, a 4-bedroom house. We have to start thinking outside of the box.
I know.
Africa is an opportunity for all of us, but also it's our job, you guys, to put together a package, present the idea, present the opportunities to our people so that they can see it, recognize it, and those who are in the field of financial literacy can promote those products to people who have the means, who want to invest in Africa. That is the next step, creating legitimate financial uh, investments for our people here. And that's the next step, because everything is always connected to a feel good back to Africa movement, which unfortunately the people who are not financially literate in that field are the ones selling you the idea of coming back, and they don't really know what they're doing. So let's get the professionals here on the ground, that's on in Africa, connect those people with the ones that are coming from the diaspora community, and create real packages. I'm talking about multi-million-dollar opportunities for our people. So it's here. And Tony, I'm so happy that you're coming here. I cannot wait for you to see this beautiful place we call Senegal.
Well, we're going to be coming there often. Again, we're coming back in June, but uh, I just believe that all things happen for a reason,
Yeah.
and to have Clayton Banks here, who has the ability to speak to millions of people all of the time,
Yes.
and Yana Woodhouse here to understand how we can work with you, Sonny, and
Yes.
others to kind of close that gap.
Yeah.
When I started dealing with, oh, this is my friend Mahanta. How are you doing?
Hello everyone.
And
Hope
Mahanta
you are hope you are
Clayton
seeing me
Banks,
and hearing me well.
Clayton
There was a
Banks,
time change.
Silicon Harlem, and Mahanta Fall.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Innovation House.
Yes.
Yes,
Thanks for
Innovation House.
joining us. Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about Innovation House, Mahanta.
Okay, so I'm sorry in advance about my Frenchy English. I'll try to do my best. So Innovation House has been founded by Moussa Traoré. He's the CDO, so the Chief Digital Officer of Sonatel Orange, which is a telco company, the biggest one in this country. And the main idea about the Innovation House is to improve education, and to give chance to everyone to learn about STEM, and give students to give them skills that will allow them to do their best in companies. So this
Well,
is the sentence about the Innovation House.
and again, one of the important things that has happened is that I have made sure that Clayton Banks uh, and Silicon Harlem will have the ability to work with you, Hunter Fall, and Musa to allow for this type of conversation to continue. This is just the beginning. This is just uh, part of that, and of course, Sonny is our agent on the ground who will pull a lot of this information together. But it's good that we are doing this. This is a historic moment.
Yes.
It when we're talking about two major components that will allow for us to do much of what we're talking about. We're
Yes.
talking about connecting with information technology and connecting with financial literacy. That
Yes.
is really important. It is saying something that, as Clayton, you have said again and again, this is the time.
The game changer.
Our
Yes.
ancestors are working with us. They've
Yes.
given us this ability. It's up to us to make sure that we do what we need to do.
Right.
Clayton, do you have any questions for Mahanta?
Well, my first question is, parlez-vous français?
Yes, je parle très bien français.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Well, I'm not good enough to hang with you on that, but I will say it's a pleasure to meet you. I'll keep it short. You know, one of the greatest things that we can all do together
Of course.
is to share uh, just enough to allow people to believe that their imagination works.
Yes.
And one way to do that is create a space, create a house, to your point, to where they can come together and not be judged and allowed to express themselves and hopefully have some support within to make it move forward. And that could be a peer, a mentor, or any of those things. And I think what's really a sort of a responsibility on our side that create these spaces is make sure people feel that way. You know, Maya Angelou's famous point about people don't believe what you say, people don't believe what you did, but people believe how you made them feel. And I think that is so important that we make sure that whatever space they come in, as you know, we don't want it to be intimidating. Oh, is this going to be about STEM? Is this going to be about that? All that should be part of it. But in my space, for example, one simple thing has changed the game. I got a PS5. Hello. So anyway, although that's true, it's also a space where people feel comfortable, very welcome, and I think now putting two of our efforts together, we create a link that's unbreakable. And I think that is going to be a game changer again, as we use that term in this call, for the world. And I can't be more excited. You will have certain tasks and problems and challenges from your perspective, and we'll have ours. Imagine putting our brains together and figuring out each other. Right? That is going to be one of the greatest things we can do in our lives. And I'm more pumped than ever to know that Tony Rogers were able to put us together. I'm gonna visit, and I hope you come to the USA and come check out our space. Let's make this happen. I've done it with other countries. We can do it together again.
And we can also talk about exchange programs, where
Yep.
students from America can go to Senegal and students from Senegal can come to America based on an educational component. So there are many different things that can happen. We have a few more minutes, so I would just like to, and I'll start with you, Yana. What are some of your closing thoughts as it relates to where we're going now?
I just will say is number one, thank you so much, Tony, for having me. But more so is that we've done a lot of talking, and it is time for us to act. And I would say to everyone, open your mind, open your heart and your soul, and let's get busy. This is our time. And we don't have anybody that's going to stop us except for the person that you look at in the mirror. So stop it. Let's get busy. I think this trip, I've sacrificed a bit. This is tax season, and I'm coming because this is a greater good. And this is something where our world is changing, and we have no excuses. So let's get going.
Sonny?
Oh, she's muted.
You're muted. Your mic is muted.
Tony, thank you for this opportunity. I am thankful. I'm grateful for you including me in this discussion. Yes, this is our time. It's our opportunity. If we sleep on it, I don't think we're going to get another chance. I mean, we really have to fight for our lives. I really think it's a crucial time. I don't think we're really aware of how crucial this time is for us as Black people on this planet. Do we want to go into extinction? How we want to thrive and live for generations. So if we don't fight for our lives and work together and build the kind of network, the empire that's necessary to have a great Black community and nation and people in the future, then it's our loss. So, like Mr. Banks said, our grandchildren, what are they going to say about us? Our great grand, we were the pioneers that made Africa, Black people, we turned the tide. We made things happen for ourselves. So, once again, I thank you. I'm excited about your arrival to the continent, the motherland, and I look forward to meeting you all face to face. I'm Sunny Moore from Senegal, West Africa. Thank you.
Mahanta, any last words, and
Uh,
then we'll end with Mr. Banks.
Yes, I will add maybe something about Innovation House, and maybe that will allow you to understand how we can build some bridge between what we are doing here in Senegal
Yes.
in Innovation House and what you guys are trying to build there overboard. So Innovation House is a nice place. It's a great place to go and learn about STEM. But little by little, we understand that STEM is not all everything. You need the all, beyond the hard skills. You need to teach a student how to get some soft skills. When I say soft skills, it's about critical thinking, problem solving, digital literacy. So we understand that here in Senegal, students that who finish their studies in university and schools, they have a lot of issues to have to have first work here, and this is very difficult. So little by little, we understand that the Innovation House have to learn students how to do great things and how to have great soft skills in order to maybe focus on the marketplace that are not only in Senegal but in Europe, in USA. This is what we are trying to build here. This is the game is not is still we are still in the game. So maybe in a few time you'll heard about the Innovation House and great things that we are trying to do here.
Well, thank you, and we will end with my good friend Clayton Banks.
Let me thank Urbanology. Let me thank Matt McCoy and his team. You guys are truly doing exceptional work in allowing voices that don't always get a voice. Me and Sonny, we are radical people, so it's tough for us to get. So anyway, I just want to end with this.
He said that because you were across the street from the ski place. I mean, the surfing place.
Let me. So I want to end with this on my side, which is I realize that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi and many others, Marcus Garvey, Stephen Biko, we can go on and on. But here's the thing: at the end of their lives, whether it was through assassination or not, they all came to one simple notion, and we will all die with that same notion, which is we're all the same. Okay, so we're all the same, but not always treated the same. So we're all the same, but we're not treated the same. We're all from Africa. Okay, that's the motherland. And so when I worked for President Clinton, he would say all the time that intelligence is distributed everywhere evenly, everywhere, but there's one thing that's not: access and exposure. And if we focus a little bit more on providing more access and more exposure to as many people as we possibly can, I believe that the intelligence is not an issue. If you don't know about it, you can't learn. If you don't know how to find Dr. Yana, you can't get what you need. So the access and exposure is critical. If you don't do anything else at Innovation House, you should at least provide the access and exposure. I can't tell you the number of kids I've put in college over the years because they learned something that they never knew that they would love.
Yes.
So if you don't get the access and the exposure, you can't move. So when I say everyone needs a connection, it really is about that. It's once you're connected, and it's not just about broadband, it's somebody you met. It's somebody that looked at you and gave you some help. What we can do as professional people is constantly try to share as much as we possibly can. And finally, I would say that I'm down. I'm 100% down to doing one simple thing. One of the things that I found all over the world is that too many of us become indoctrinated and not educated. Hello, some of you know what I'm talking about. In the United States, you have never seen in your lives that the Capitol got stormed, right? How's the Capitol get stormed? You got to get indoctrinated to do that, right? So we've got to work very hard, right? This is no longer be a bunch of people that have been indoctrinated. It's much more to be educated. And what Malcolm X said, which was the most profound thing I've ever read, and I've read everything he's written. He said, "What incentive does a oppressor have to let the oppressive go? Zero." Zero. So his answer was, if you want to get out of that situation, there's only one way. You got to free your own mind.
That's right.
And if we can continue to press that in where people can start thinking for themselves and being able to really make a difference, you solve all this bullshit. So I'm just so ready right now to ensure that I'm doing my part to provide as much access and exposure as I possibly can and make sure that I do my part. So thank you very much again, Tony Rogers, for putting us all together. Nothing like an international call. This is beautiful.
Well, thank you all. Thanks again with Matt McCoy, who made this really possible. And Yana, thank you so much for sharing. Sunny, Mahanta, I look forward to meeting you and seeing Innovation House and making sure that this is just the beginning. It's talk. Now it's time for action. I think that's what the foundation of this conversation was about. So again, thank you all. Sunny, be seeing you soon.
Yes.
And we'll continue this. We'll give a report when we return. And this, as I said, is just the beginning. This is an ongoing situation. This is just a historic first step. So thank you all.
I'm bringing my surfboard. I'm bringing my surfboard in Senegal.
I didn't know you were a surfer. Every time I talk to this brother, I learn a little bit more about his incredible life.
Yeah, man. I grew up surfing. That's my thing. And I played basketball, so I'll be able to do all that stuff in Senegal.
It's all here in Senegal.
Take care, and thank you all. Be seeing you soon. Looking forward to seeing you guys in Senegal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, this is the end of the show. We not sure whether we'll be broadcasting from Senegal, but we'll try. I'll bring our computer and rather be there. That would be great. And maybe we could do it in the Innovation House.
Yes,
maybe we could
yes,
do
yes.
a broadcast in
You are welcome.
Great idea.
Yeah, to do our show in Senegal. That would be a wonderful thing to do. So stay tuned. We'll be back next week one way or another, right?
Yes.
Take care, you guys. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.